things do not always go as we plan, do they? Sometimes we make plans with the very best of intentions, and things just don't turn out the way we expect. I heard this week about two ministers. They had churches on either side of the street from each other, right at the bend in a road. And this one day, they were standing outside and they were holding up signs. One pastor's sign said, "Turn around before it's too late." The other pastor's sign said, "The end is coming quickly." Well, one car went by and the driver rolled down his window and said, "Get a real job." That's not very nice. Another car came shortly after that said, "Stop trying to force your religious beliefs on others." Soon from around the bend, there was a screech of tires and a splash, followed by a second screech of tires and a splash. And one pastor said to the other, "Do you think we should change our signs?" To which the other one said, "Perhaps the bridge is out ahead would be more helpful." Things didn't go as they planned. There are simply things in our lives that are out of our control, and we've all experienced that in recent days. Today we heard about the apostle resting and sleeping on his bed, and he had a dream of someone begging him, "Come to Macedonia and share the good news with us." He and his friends determined that, yes, it was a vision, that they were supposed to go to Macedonia, so they started that direction. Not sure what they would find there, but they planned to go and preach the good news in the synagogues there to the men of the city. As they approached the Sabbath, they went down to the river to pray and found a group of people praying as well. One of those people was a lady by the name of Lydia. Now, Lydia was a person who dealt in purple cloth. Now, purple cloth is significant. Only the most elite and wealthy in a community would deal with, sell, or purchase purple cloth. So here was Lydia, a powerful businesswoman. We know that she was devout in her faith. She was there to pray. And she was there by the river with others. Hearing the good news of the gospel, she asked her whole family was baptized. Her whole family was converted to Christianity. You see, she had lived her life in very successful fashion, but her vision was small. Her vision was not expanded to include the Messiah who had already come. And having heard the good news, she went to her family. They too were baptized, and the disciples stayed with her. She had found out that Jesus truly is the Messiah, that she needed him in her life. Suddenly, everything for her was different. But going and converting a woman by the riverside was not what the disciples had planned. Clearly, they thought they would be preaching in the synagogues to the men of the city. But see, things didn't go as they planned, and yet their vision was expanded. They followed through on what God called them to do. The man by the pool in Bethesda also had a very narrow vision. He was a man who was looking for more in his life. He had been looking for that for 38 years. He had a dream of being healed for 38 years. Now, this pool in Jerusalem, the name of the pool is derived from a Hebrew word that means Beth Hesda. It means house of mercy or house of grace. And there was a legend around this pool that periodically an angel would come down and stir up the waters. And when the waters were stirred, the first person into the pool, it was said, would be healed from their malady. This man wanted healing. But this system of getting into the water first was a system that really promoted injustice. People would jump in front of one another. It wasn't a system that promoted love or peace or generosity or helping. It was one that promoted me first. It was a system of injustice for those who were suffering. And yet, here these people were, wanting to be healed, wanting to be made healthy and well. As I read this story this week, I was thinking about how Jesus went about doing good. He sought people out and would heal them, and people started coming to him in droves, seeking him out. But not this man. This man looked at the waters in the pool. And then Jesus sought him out. This man's vision did not extend beyond that pool, because if the water stirred, he had to be the first one in it. And then comes Jesus. And he asks him this odd question: do you want to be made well? Obviously he wanted to. That's a weird question. He was sitting here day after day. If he wasn't wanting to be well, would he have sat there for 38 years? But Jesus asked the question. And what I find even more odd was that the man never answered Jesus' question. He said, everyone steps in front of me. I have no one to help me. It's unfair. This man had been sitting in his current circumstances for 38 years, for so long, that he wasn't able to see beyond the water. And Jesus, through eyes of compassion that is beyond understanding, didn't answer the man the way maybe I would have. Yeah, everyone gets in front of you. Sucks to be you. No, Jesus said, get up. In Scripture, after that, there's an exclamation mark. Get up. Pick up your mat and walk. Get up. Suddenly this man experienced in his life something way more than he expected. Something he had sought after, he had dreamed about. His vision in this moment expanded beyond just it being a dream, but beyond that into being a reality. Get up. Then he says, pick up your mat. Pick up your bed. You're not coming back here. Your circumstances are not where you stay forever. You are not coming back here. Everything is changed. And walk. Go forward. Move forward. Use the gifts given to you in the strength and power of the Lord. He has healed you. Get up. Pick up your bed. Walk. Something that strikes me about this man is that how long he had been sitting there with that limited vision, 38 years. But it struck me that no matter how long we've been sitting in our circumstances, no matter how long we've had a narrow vision before us, Jesus will still heal. Jesus will still expand vision. And these two stories that we heard today, they're both examples of having narrow vision. The disciples planned to go to Macedonia to preach in the synagogue to just the men, and instead they had preached to women and children and expanded their message beyond what they expected. And this man by the pool, he planned to be healed in the waters. And instead, he was sought out by the great physician who told him to get up, and his life was forever changed. Things did not go as any of them expected. Now, how do we respond when things don't go as we plan? Because we've had a lot of practice with that over the last few years. Maybe you're in a place today where you feel like you've just been spinning your wheels and getting nowhere. Or you're in a place where you want things to go back to the way they were. But the truth is that now, post-pandemic-ish as we are, everything is different. Everything is changed. The world we are in today is not the same world we were in 2019. Daily we hear of tragedy and pain and wounds. Things are definitely not going as planned. And what do we do with that? Maybe it's time for us to expand our vision. Because God has implanted in each and every one of us a purpose and a plan and a vision and a dream to serve in His will, to walk in His ways, to be surrounded and even marinated in His love, to be saturated by His grace. He has given us a dream and a vision of peace and joy and victory in our lives. When we do what we can do with what we have before us, we have the gift of grace that will expand our vision and extend our reach to do things that we personally, in our own strength, cannot do. And so today I invite you, my friends, to receive into your circumstances the touch, the healing touch of Christ. Through His healing, your vision expands. You can dream bigger dreams. Let's seek out and consider how we can change the atmosphere and the dynamic in our communities. Let's cast the vision of a new way of walking in this world, of walking in love and more love, of sharing God's peace and more peace, of not relying on systems that promote injustice, but relying on the system of God that promotes justice and peace. Let us reimagine how we can be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ to this world that is now forever changed. It is time for us to be the church, to get up and walk and refuse to stay in our current circumstances, to infuse each moment in the good news that even when things do not go as planned, we can trust that God has a plan. Even when things are not calm, we know Jehovah Shema. He is there. Don't let your vision be small, because we serve a big God. So let us, in our hearts, in our minds, in our lives, gather at that river. Go to the river to pray, to listen, to learn, to grow, and then invite others in the journey. That is what we are called to do.